Hello, welcome back to part 2 of lesson 6. On this question, we're looking at exercise 3. This is another question that I would ask you to do on your own if we were in class and we would review our answers. It says the distance between a negative number and a positive number is 12.5. What are the numbers? I would like you to actually pause this video and put two numbers on your number line that have a distance of 12.5 between them. Okay, I've selected two examples that will work. I think one of the more common examples that people choose are -6 and 6.5. I would like you to make sure that your point, if you chose this, is between 6 and 7. Sometimes we get this 12 correct, like from -6 to 6, but it's imperative that you put this half another half space away from our original point here. So if we started at -6, we would travel 12 to get to 6. We need to go another half of a space to get to 6.5. One common mistake would be maybe to put it at 5.5, because you would go 12, and then sometimes we get a little confused on which side of the number the half should be on. Down here I chose -10 and 2.5. From -10 to 2 is 12, and then I need to go an additional 1/2. Any two numbers that work are fine. Alright, let's look at exercise 4. Use the distance formula to find each answer. Support your answer using a number line diagram. Okay, so we're going to use the distance formula to begin. -7 and -4, what is the difference? The distance between them. So we are going to take the absolute value of the difference of -7 and -4. Remember, difference always means subtraction. -7 minus -4. So I'm going to do -7. If I'm subtracting -4, I could add the opposite of -4, which is 4. -7 plus 4 is going to be -3, and the absolute value of -3 is going to be 3. So it should be 3 spaces. Let's check. -7, -4, 1, 2, 3. They are 3 spaces apart. The distance is 3. B. Find the change in temperature if the temperature rises from -18 degrees Fahrenheit to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So now we're starting to get numbers that are a little further apart. It's not just going to be easy to count. Like, you would not want to start at -18 and count up to 15. -18, -17, -16. Like, that would take too long. We need a more efficient way of doing this. So, one strategy, well, we'll start with the distance formula. The difference between -18 and 15. -18 minus 15, so that would be the same as -18 plus -15, changing all subtraction to addition. And I know that if the signs are the same, and we're doing addition, I can just add them together. -18 plus -15 is going to be 10 and 10 is 20, 8 and 5 is 13. So that's -33, and the absolute value of -33 is 33. So that my distance is 33. Now, I could see this more visually if I wanted to. Let's create a number line. 0. Down here I would have -18, and up here I would have +15. So now if I want to talk about the distance between these two numbers, I would say, well, I have to go 18 spaces to get to 0, and then I have to go an additional 15 spaces to get to 15. So 15 and 18, that would be a total of 33 spaces. So I can look at it on a vertical number line. All right, C, would your answer to the first part of B be different if the temperature went from 15 degrees Fahrenheit to -18 degrees Fahrenheit? So looking at our number line, is the difference from -18 to 15 going to be different than the distance between 15 to negative 18? And we have proven that multiple times that the answer to that is no. They're going to have the same distance. Now, if we were talking about the change would be different. This is a change of positive 33. This is a change of negative 33. But they're going to be the same distance from one another. We can prove that with the distance formula. The absolute value of 15 minus negative 18. So this time we've changed the order. Instead of negative 18 minus 15, we're doing 15 minus negative 18. The absolute value of 15, change subtraction to addition. Instead of negative 18, this becomes the opposite of negative 18, which is 18. The absolute value of 15 plus 18 would be the absolute value of 33, which is 33. So here we still have a distance of 33. Let's look at the last two. Beryl is the first person to finish a 5K race and is standing 15 feet beyond the finish line. Another runner, Jeremy, actually let's go ahead and say 15 feet beyond. We're going to call that the integer 15. Another runner, Jeremy, is currently trying to finish the race and has approximately 14 feet before he reaches the finish line. We're going to call that negative 14. What is the minimum possible distance between Beryl and Jeremy? Well, I know that he needs 14 spaces to the finish line, and he's 15 spaces past the finish line. So what I might actually do is just draw a little, sometimes it's fun to just draw a little picture here, finish line. Okay, and I know that I have somebody that is 15 feet past it, and somebody that is 14 feet before it, and I could draw a little, draw a number line. Finish line would be 0. This person is at negative 14. This person is at 15. How far to the finish, or how far between them? Well, that's 14 spaces, and that is 15 spaces. 14 and 15 is at a minimum, it's going to be 29 feet. Now the point is that we're learning the distance formula. So let's learn the distance formula. Let's make sure we can use it. Remember, we'll go back to our definition. It's the absolute value of the difference between P and Q. So I can pick either number to be P, either number to be Q. We've seen that that doesn't matter. Negative 14 is 29 spaces from 15, and 15 is 29 spaces from negative 14. Doesn't matter. So let's just pick the numbers in any order. I'm going to do the absolute value of 15 minus negative 14. That would be 15 plus the opposite of negative 14, which is 14. The absolute value of 15 plus 14, well, 15 plus 14 is 29, and the absolute value of 29 is 29. They would have to be 29 feet apart. All right, last question. What is the change in elevation from 140 feet above sea level to 40 feet below sea level? Now, we're going to draw a picture, but I want us to see if we can just trust this algorithm, and let's do it first. 140 feet above sea level, that's 140. 40 feet below sea level, that's negative 40. Okay, let's come over here and let's find the difference between those two numbers. The absolute value of 140 minus negative 40. Okay, now if I want to do this subtraction, I would say change that subtraction to addition by adding the opposite. And the absolute value of 140 plus 40 is going to be the absolute value of 180, which is 180. So it would be a change. The distance would be 180 feet, but what is the change? So not the distance, but the change. Well, are we going up or are we going down? We went from 140 feet above sea level to 40 feet below sea level. So because we are going down, I would say that the change in elevation is negative 180 feet. Why negative? Because we're not talking about distance, we're talking about change. And the change here is a change from being at positive 140 to negative 40. We are going down. It is a negative change. All right, thanks guys. I hope this worked for you. If you need anything, please contact your teachers.